being joined by Major Mohammed Ali Shah, who is a defense expert. Good morning, sir, and thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Some rather unfortunate developments we are tracking at this point for our viewers from Manipur. Allegedly, women have lit 3 LPG tanks on fire in the Sekmai village in Imphal West district. So it seems that even after, more than a month and a half, the situation, more than actually 2 months and a half, the situation has not quelled down, and there are still incidents of violence that are taking place. Rather unfortunate at this point of time. Do you think the need of the hour is peace, conflict resolution and reconciliation?
100% the need of the hour right now, currently on top priority for the country, should be peace. In fact, the very fact that women have burnt up certain things, I'm not surprised with that actually, because I know the Myra Pabais in Manipur. It's just an example I'm giving. Myra Pabais are the Manipuri mothers. They are the Maite ladies. I have had first-hand experience of dealing with them, and let me tell you, with me they were very, very sweet, extremely cooperative, extremely warm. But when there is an operation that is being launched, then they would surround you and they would not let you operate beyond a certain area at a certain time. So, like for example, sometime back, the army was compelled to release 12 KYKL terrorists, militants on they treated later on human grounds, and out of which one of them was self-styled Lieutenant Colonel Uttam Timba, who was the mastermind behind the ambush on our bravehearts of 6th Dogra Battalion, where we lost 18 of our bravehearts in 2015. So was mentioned by the Spear Corps tweet. Well, I don't know how relevant this is as per the tweet, that one of them was self-styled terrorist, Lieutenant Colonel. But the very fact is the fact remaining, be it from any end, I mean from the Maite side, from the Kuki side, both of them are now bitter enemies, staunch enemies of each other, and that should not be the case. They should be peace at any cost. But there's something which we are doing wrong. There is obviously something we are doing wrong when we are trying to negotiate peace or trying to broker peace. I strongly feel that the peace should be from a neutral party. People who should talk peace should be from a neutral party. They should neither be Kukis nor Maitis. And the peace talks through dialogue. And that dialogue should be held where? Not in Manipur. It should be held in Delhi. Get both the leaders together, sit across the table. I have been saying from the day one, if the politicians want, it can be solved. When I say politicians, I mean the local leaders, the stakeholders, everyone who is into the regional, who understands the region very well. A person, so the term for a person like me or you would be a Mayank. A Mayank is an outsider who is not from Manipur. I think the Mayanks are perfect to broker peace. A Mayank who understands Manipur, who knows the geography, topography, demography, the history of the region, who knows the tribal affinity, the ethnic culture, who knows about the region. That person, those people rather, I would say they are former Director General of Police who have served in Manipur. They are former General Officer Commanding who have served in Manipur. They have been former Chairman Ceasefire Monitoring Group who have served in Manipur. They have been former Chief Secretaries. They have been former governors who are all, so to say, if I use the term Mayank, which is not a derogatory term at all, it means an outsider. So those outsiders should be brought in who know Manipur, and that should be the first priority. And it's very, very indeed painful when other nations start talking about us. And the very fact is we have failed in not being able to bring peace to Manipur, because I have a lot of friends who are Maitis, I have a lot of friends who are Kukis, I have a lot of friends who are Nagas, I have a lot of friends who are Tangkul as well, I have a lot of friends from Sanamai. Sanamai is a religion in Manipur, among the Maitis. Like, people are under a misconception. Like, I heard you discuss about Manipur yesterday. They were talking it's about between Hindus and the Christians. I'm sorry, it is not communal, it's ethnic. It is not about the Hindus versus Christians. That way they are Maite Christian as well. They are no Kuki Hindus, I agree. It's Kuki, the 100% Christian. Similarly, the Nagas are 100% Christian. Like the way the Mizos are 100% Christian. So among the Meiteis, they are Pangals as well. Pangals are the Manipuri Muslims. In fact, in 1972, Ali Muddin, who was one of the initial chief ministers of Manipur, was a Pangal. From Bengal, Pangal. Now they are also underground factions operating in Manipur, like there is UNLF, there is PLA, there is KYK, who are primarily Meitei factions. They are pure Meitei people are there in that. There was a movement earlier when there was unification of all the factions put together. And UNLF and PLA was taking the lead. They said, let's get all the Meitei factions together. Many Kuki groups, like the Kuki Revolutionary Army, the KRO, they are on SU. SU is what? SU is suspension of operations. It's like a ceasefire, like the way we have ceasefire in Nagaland. There's suspension of operations among these groups. And right from 2004, 2008 onwards, now these SU groups, what they do is they are allowed to keep their weapon in the camp. One key of the weapon remains with the government official. One key remains with their commander, like a bank locker. So those weapons are there. Now the SU groups also get a stipend from the government of India. People will be very, very surprised. People will be even more surprised when they hear that, a regular Christian from Delhi cannot understand, will not be able to understand the tribal culture of Manipur, even though they are Christians. So a Christian church in Manipur need not be a Christian church. I'm not talking about Catholic and Protestant. That we all know the basics. I'm talking about a Naga church, a Kuki church. I'm talking about a Meitei Christian church. For example, in a Kuki church, they are dances which are held, customary dances, which is perfectly fine. But a regular Christian from Delhi will not be able to understand what's happening over here. There are sacrifices which are held in a Kuki church. A regular Christian from Delhi or Mumbai would not be able to understand what's happening. They are offerings of fruits, vegetables. A regular person would not be able to understand. So similarly, it's very, very important. Like there are cookies among the cookies. They are the Thadaos cookies. They are also the cookies Zomis. Now in 1997, there was a very infamous clash between the Thadao cookies and the cookies Zomis, where they were driven out from North Manipur and they were sent to Chachanpur, which is known as Lamka by the cookies. They refused to acknowledge it as Chachanpur. Many of them, they call it Lamka. So they were driven out there. In 1998, ultimately the Mizos had to step in because the Paites, who have an affiliation towards cookies, have an affiliation towards Mizoram. They are Mizos, not Misos, right? Who also have a strong affiliation towards cookies. Like for example, we have to understand the Khongsais, they are Chautes, they are Mars, they have an affiliation towards the Kuki tribe. Whereas among the Christians also there can be somebody called as Laishram Raju Singh. He can be a Meitei Christian. Whereas Laishram or Rajkumar Jaljit Singh, these are very, very common Manipuri Meitei names. Well, so it is very important to know by the surname one can make out. Like for example, we know about Rao Reddy from Andhra, we know about Nayars Pillais from Kerala, we know about Armugam, Muthu, and so Krishna Swamis are from Tamil Nadu, the Ahmads or Alis are from a Muslim community. Similarly, we know about, one should see the surname or see the features. A lot of people unfortunately cannot make out the features between who's Manipuri, who's Mizo, who's Assamese, but their features are completely different. So a peace has to be brought about by a man who understands all this very well, who knows the area back of his hands, who knows who is in good terms with cookies and with Meitei as well. Because dialogue is the only way forward. There are so many complications and so many intricacies which cannot come through Google knowledge. Google knowledge, it will be limited to, okay, we have symptoms of an illness, of an ailment. So we can Google, I have these symptoms, the medicines to be taken. The one can take medicine through Google. But imagine how dangerous it would be by taking those medicines without consulting an expert, a doctor, by Google. Similarly, the Google knowledge, the bookish knowledge of Northeast would be very, very different as and when compared to the ground knowledge. Like for example, I spoke about Sanamais, like Kangla Fort. Kangla Fort is a place in Manipur near Lake Loktak where they have their own separate temple. Now you talk about Sajik Tampak or you talk about the other border areas like Sugnu, which is on the border. There they are, is the information that army gets, we used to get a lot of information that time that they have a lot of underground training camps over there. But the moment army would or the Assam Rifles would come to actually launch an operation, they were too smart. They had their scouts, their alerts, their stops, their women over there. They would come to block the the armed forces operation straight away. So that is an area which it is very, very dear whenever I speak about Northeast, because I know that area better than I know my own hometown. I know the culture better than I know my own culture. In fact, that is something I feel myself, that I am myself a person from the Northeast. I speak the local dialect there. I must share this with you, Pia. It's a very, very interesting experience. I was, me along with 4 officers and 1 Jawan, we were taken captive by an underground group in the Northeast. Now you can well imagine our plight, what would have happened. We were blindfolded and there were weapons cocked on our heads and they were about to shoot. But something in the hearts told us that they would not shoot, perhaps. And that did not happen. I ultimately spoke to them in their dialect. Not the language, their dialect. And they were very surprised. They immediately opened the blindfold. They sat down with us. We actually spoke to them very, very diplomatically. They made noodles for us. They made tea for us. And we were released by evening. And I had an interview on that with my former commandant of the Assam Rifles. We spoke about this incident and it is there on public. So the very fact is, I have always said that they are men of principles. They are men who stand by their word. They do not let their word down. वो अपनी ज़बान के पक्के हैं. They are very cultured. They do not, and they did not ill-treat us. They did not misbehave with us. You know, you'll be surprised if I tell you, when they blindfolded us, first they saluted us. They said, what I've been repeating their words. They said, from one soldier to another soldier, please do not mind, we are doing our duty. That's what they told us. And